It is August 4th, 2026. We have another repeat of April and May, followed by a tremendous amount of bottom wicks. If you're tier 2, this should not come as a surprise. Everything on the S&P looks tremendously bullish. Price action, volume, option chain positioning, all of the underlyings. Not to mention the big old word that we all know that kicked off a couple of days ago. What is that called? How do you... hold on, I got it written down here. How do you say it? Fraud. Oh, okay. A lot of fraud going on here, which of course in the market leads to upside. So everything tied together, we have yet another tremendous move. Over 1,000 points on NASDAQ without a single pullback. Over 150 points on the S&P without a single pullback. We've seen this game plan before. All the way back into March and April, or April and May of 2026. Yesterday was an extraordinary session. The week before that was extraordinary, and we're going to try to keep the train pumping. Normally, with this much green, I'd be looking to short the crap out of the open with the too much, too fast move. However, I'm not going to be doing that with this much bullishness. It has that look of April and May, and I don't want to get caught in a freight train. After yesterday's long position from the lows, I made a choice to take a short at the highs in the afternoon, and it was driven by a couple of different factors, which I'll explain here on stream after we kind of get through the open, and obviously I took a loss on that one. So, and already out of the gate, we are pumping the green candles after already being up 500 points. So this has, like I'll say it for like a fifth time already, this has the look of April and May. This has the look of pump, 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 never coming down ever. In fact, I'm about to officially go back into the prior June mode of no shorting whatsoever, only buy the dip relentlessly, and then I'll become intolerable for the next few weeks. We're reaching that point. Already out of the gate, we have 100 points on NASDAQ in about 10 seconds because every single person in the history of the markets is buying. Even the ones that are dead have come alive and are buying right now. 29,320, and we're seeing more and more historical buying day after day, week after week, month after month. The yearly charts, if you go look at the yearly charts on the S&P, is extraordinarily ridiculous. I mean, just preposterous. And instantly out of the gate, 100 points on NASDAQ. Instantly. The S&P here is 7666 because the devil is running the market. And after that, we'll claim the highs and off we go. The S&P is at new all-time highs. Just a quick 48 hours ago, everybody was calling for a sell-off. Everybody was looking for massive crushing of the markets. This is it, baby. We're going down, and here we are 2 days later. New all-time highs. Yeah, buddy. 76.66. We just filled all upside liquidity. No shorting whatsoever, ever. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. There we go. 76.68 already. We're up 20 points on the S&P. We're up over 100 points on NASDAQ. This is not going to stop anytime soon. Up, up, and away, baby. Pump it. Pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it. All day long, every day. No shorting. Buy the dip. Yeah, buddy. Up, up, and away. I forgot to give you all the TPT giveaways yesterday, so we're going to do that today. I'll give away a 50K and a 150K account. Yeah, buddy. Up, up, and away. What's up, YouTube? This is why I don't want to play the too much too fast, because when the bulls hit it, they never let up. It takes weeks now. When the market has changed in such a manner that when we do have a bullish move, a bullish rally, the bulls don't let up. It takes weeks for that bullish order flow to actually stop. So whatever algorithm they hit, it lasts for weeks. And once that happens, you cannot even consider a short position whatsoever. It's only longs. Only. Doesn't matter how high we go. You just buy. Period. Rocket launch salvos into long positions. Up, up, and away, baby. All day, every day. What's up, Jimba? Dan, how you doing? Hassan. All right, NASDAQ is up 150 points in the first 4 minutes of the day and still going after already being up 500 points in the overnight session. Still going, and we're about to blast new all-time highs for NASDAQ. The S&P is still going straight up, of course, no shorting. You can go down to the 1 second chart, and you still won't even get a lower low, and this is continued from Sunday open. This is now 48 hours straight of nothing but relentless pump into oblivion. No shorting, buy every single dip. I would probably expect 29,500 before a top wick. 29,500 before a top wick. That's another 250 points on NASDAQ. That's a chip shot for NASDAQ. Straight up, no shorting, buy the dip all day, every day. No shorting. We called the price action 100% perfect yesterday, and I'm going to anticipate doing that today. I think that's 6 days in a row now of pinpoint accurate market conditions here, and then we're going to do the same thing today. No shorting, just buy. No shorting, just buy. All the way up, baby. All the way up. Booyah. Yeah, April, May, baby. April, May. They're going to repeat April and May, and they are going to smoke everybody. They're going to absolutely kill everybody. Everyone's going to be looking to short it, and they're going to repeat April and May, and we're going to blink. NASDAQ is going to be at 35,000. The S&P is going to be at 9,000, and everyone's going to be like, what the crap just happened? Up, up, and away, all day, every day, no shorting. All day, every day, no shorting by the dip. All day, every day, no shorting. Don't do any shorting, just straight up. Up, up, and away, 29,400 all day, every day. The most fraudulent bullish market in the history of the world with the most bullish president in the world. And you just buy the dip. There's no analysis to be had. There's no VPA. You just long. Buy it up. Every day, no shorting. Buy, buy, buy. No point in doing the analysis. Just buy. Market enter. I have nothing for a long while up. Yeah, 100%. 100%, baby. Yesterday we had a little bit of an anomaly in the options, but overall, everything still says rocket ship. We're already up 200 points out of the gate after being up 500 pre-market, and we're just straight up. Literally as straight up as you can possibly be. You just buy, no shorting. I don't want to hear any bearish talk. I don't want to hear any nonsense. We had a couple of people calling for shorts the entire way up yesterday morning. And I tried to do my best to get to slash the bearishness out of the room, and I'll continue to do so. Only buy, baby. Up, up, and away, nonstop. Rocket ships, baby. All the way. We're already up 200 points out of the open and still going. No shorting by the dip. We just crossed over 410, which was a massive amount of liquidity on the book. ES is still going here too. We're going up 76, 72 up to 7,700. All the way up, baby, 29,410. Once we close that, we'll be going up to 500 and then 520. Just buy calls, buy the dip, and long futures. Straight up, baby. We have $1 billion in calls purchased. We have $700 million in puts sold. If there were any puts on the books, they are once again smoked, just like that. And up, up, and away. Up, up, and away, baby. See if we can get stuff going on the TPT accounts. My 5 accounts copy trading are going to be rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling, baby. Rolling and rocking. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? What's happening? K2, ban the bears. That's right. Ban them. Ban them. This is the golden era of trading. The golden era. There's been a lot of headlines back and forth of the past 24 hours concerning market conditions and what they want to do. And you can tell that they are doing everything they can to pump this thing into oblivion. So here's the dilemma that I face, leading you jabronis into the gulch once more, my friends. There's no technical 3C entry to get you into a long position. It's just pump and pump for 48 hours straight. The only thing to do here is just hang on for dear life and long. And I certainly am not going to advise shorting. I tried to do that yesterday, and there was a good reason to do it. I stand by that entry, and it just didn't work out. So I'm not going to alert any more short entries while in these market conditions. It's too dangerous. Most people don't know how to handle themselves when things go bad. So my dilemma is, how do I ping an entry for long on this stuff? It's not easy. It's not easy. So we'll see. 91 points with MNQ of a massive run up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I will say though, my gut feeling is macro conditions, and I'm not talking about minor retracements. Macro conditions, no shorting by the dip, just like April, just like May, just like June, when we went on that long tear of only longs. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. jolts at the top of the hour. Yeah. And coming up, we also have SpaceX. SpaceX is coming along. They've been blast-eroding. They went from 105 or something like that to 120 in the course of 2 days, along with everything else. Everything else is bright green. Yesterday was one of the most bullish sessions we've had of the year, if not the most bullish session in terms of just pure breadth. Just straight up ripping and a tearing. SpaceX post earnings tomorrow morning. So usually our earnings is in the afternoon. Well, SpaceX is posting tomorrow morning, right at market open, or right before market open. And then, of course, immediately after earnings, they will release the 900 million shares ready for selling. Do you think we'll get the midterm pullback, or that was it? I think that's it, man. I think we're off to the races here. Everything about the charts was accumulation, bottom wicks, high volume over and over and over again on the S&P, and we had a massive divergence. And now we know the reason why we had a massive divergence was the fact that Citadel was rug pulling that fund so they could buy the assets and then pump the market. That's the only reason, because if you notice, it wasn't all of tech. That's why the S&P never really, we had like 3%. S&P fell 3% off all-time highs. NASDAQ plummeted 10% and was about to put a new low because they were attacking the top individual names of NASDAQ only. We had several days where all 10 sectors, well, I guess 9 sectors of the S&P were bright green, but tech was bleeding red. And even then, it wasn't all the tech names. So now we know, in hindsight, Citadel was rugging that fund so they can buy their assets and then pump the market. So now that the NASDAQ is done doing that and they're coming back up, there's nothing holding this thing back. We've already been through FOMC. We've gotten through the Strait of Hormuz. We're still at all-time highs. We've gotten through Iran. We've gotten through all this stuff, and we're just pumping. How do I like the options prop? I'll be honest with you, Kennedy. I like it. I did not think I was going to like it. I like it. I think it's going to be good for people in terms of risk management. The average retail trader, myself included again, when they put on a losing position, they don't like to set a stop. They don't like to define their downside because they think, if I just hold, it'll come back. And I think placing an option, although it does obviously carry its own version of risks, if you like trading options, you can mitigate your losses in the front end by obviously the positioning of options. Did I see nano futures are coming? They are already. Depends on what you mean. It depends on what you mean. And you can swing trade too in this options prop firm. You can trade SPX, which you can trade overnight options, and you can swing trade these positions, like the top 10 of all the S&P plus SPX plus TLT. So it's pretty great. If you want to try it on an options prop firm, I think I'm gonna proceed with them. So we'll see how things go. I didn't see that about nanos. I did see, of course, the single stock futures, which is pretty cool. Can you hold over multiple days? Yes, you can. You can swing trade multiple days. You could take long-term positions, and it's pretty nice. As long as you don't hit your drawdown, you're fine. So, yeah. All right, NASDAQ is, of course, straight pumping. No shorting. No shorting. I'm not exaggerating. Only longs, baby. Take it nice and easy. If you don't like chasing this style of price action, then go down to micros and put yourself a long micro position on there. The probability says you're not going to long the top on this move until you have high volume. And even then, we're straight up now for 3 days. This is pure pumperoni with cheese. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. We have 1.5 billion in calls purchased, just absolutely ripping and tearing. If this NASDAQ trade hits, I'm past the TPT eval. Nice, K2. Yeah, buddy. Nice. I love it. I took 3 one-day options on Qs. Yeah, buddy. Keep it up. Keep it up. Love it. Had a fantastic session yesterday, man. Fantastic session. Fantastic week last week, and we're going to keep it going. Yeah, buddy. We're going to keep it going. What's up, NTG? If you enter along when the price is straight up, play, where do you place your stop? That's the hard part. I mean, that's the difficult part about this if you don't have a reasoning for entries, because everything is straight up. And when everything is straight up like this, all you can do is play whatever minor pullbacks they actually give you, like this little move here at 937. But this is why understanding market conditions can help you trade, in addition to having the 3 C's and a system like that, because understanding market conditions, like like that gut feeling I've got in my stomach, is the exact same feeling I had from April, May, June, which means no shorting. That little thought in your head, hey, this is high, we need to pull back. Nope. Not yet, at least. Not until this momentum fails, because the odds of you catching the momentum shift to the downside is slim. Slim. Like the Virginia Slims that the ladies in Virginia smoke. Hey, Junior. Don't do it. Don't do it. You ever seen those chicks with Virginia Slims? Probably work at Waffle House. It's no good. Probably drink Milwaukee's Best. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Bottom wick again. See what I'm saying? No shorting. I'm telling you. I am not making it up. Listen to me. Listen, escuchen. That's right. That's right. For a second there, I thought you said something other Virginia Slims. Oh, no. Yeah, Virginia. Virginia Slims. 1.3 billion in calls purchased. Straight gasoline. Straight gasoline. Straight gasoline, homies. All day, every day, straight up. Except this time y'all don't cancel on me because you tried to short when I say don't short. That would be nice. It'd be interesting if you took different YouTube trading channels and compare how much their styles create profitable traders and percentage. We've been pretty solid. I think so. I'm pretty happy with the way we've managed the past couple of months. 100%. Pretty happy with it. I'm always trying to give a reason why, and just a thought process. I never claim to be the best, but I try to keep things as simple as I possibly can and keep y'all out of the crap. And right now the crap is to the downside. Straight up, baby. 29,460. 29,460. Trying to push these TPT payouts, trying to push the IBKR payouts. We'll see about this options trading prop firm, how that plays out. We'll get that, baby. We'll get that cranking. Try to make some money. Yeah, buddy. What's up, Nate? Good morning. What's up, Mitch? Good morning. How you doing? Let's go, baby. Let's make it happen. Right now, we are pumping the NASDAQ. The S&P is straight up. Normally, that I would be looking at that last candle on the S&P as a sweep candle. However, in these market conditions, you got to be diligent. However, now listen. How do I start this conversation? Okay. After a session like yesterday, where the S&P pumps and pumps and pumps and pumps, it was one of the most top bullish sessions of the year, if not the past 2 years. Normally on that session, I would be looking to take a short position on today's session simply because of a little bit of extension and a mean reversion play. And I do think that will come only as a scalpable play, not necessarily. I'm not even going to talk about a full-on reversion. Scalpable short position. But you have to be very timely with it. You have to be very timely with it. And even then, I don't even want to be sitting there looking for that. I just want a long. Up, up, and away. It's a simplistic process you can perfect like a person with a nice jab. Bread and butter. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. The rip is contagious. Even the VIX is ripping higher. Yeah, so the VIX has popped back down into the 15s, which means the VIX is bottomed out. The VIX is not... Oh, yeah, look at that. See, we talked about this yesterday, too. Is the fact that the VIX is going to have to start doing these green VIX, green S&P sessions. That's because the VIX is bottomed out at 15.5. It's not going to go below 15.5 or so. 15s is about it for the VIX. So we come back over. The puts get nice and cheap. And then people start to hedge. The institutions mainly start to hedge with cheap put positions. And we start to get green VIX, green S&P days. Up, up, and away, baby. Let's do it. Still going. NASDAQ is still going. S&P is still going straight up. So what occurred yesterday is obviously we took the long positions on the way up, and I was very vocal about no shorting, no shorting, no shorting. In the afternoon, we started to roll over. We started to do this little number here, which I like that rollover pattern. We started to put on some nice high volume top wicks about here. We started to put on a little volume, and sell orders started to hit the book. We started to have some sell orders come in on the order book map, and then we had an options anomaly. Options went from plus $3 billion in delta notional, sold off all $3 billion in like 2 minutes. I'm talking tank the calls. So I'm sitting there looking for this rollover pattern. I see some volume come in. I see some top wicks. I see a very extended book. And then I see $3 billion of calls get sold immediately. So immediately in my head is like, all right, there's a sell-off imminent or a reversal imminent, even if it's just a scalpable position. So I took that short position at 76.13. And the position started to work out pretty well. You know, we had 4 points of profit, which is barely anything. But it started to work out in that direction. And then the market was like, psych, we got you. Like a setting the hook on a juicy fish, largemouth bass. And they pumped from 76.10 to 76.40, and that's where I stopped out at 26 there. So 13-point loss in the S&P. I stand by that position. Most of the time, I'll be taking that position again. But yeah, anyway, today's session still blast off, no shorting, straight up 76.80. S&P is still going, Nasdaq is still going, no shorting, baby, all the way up. This is April and May. This is April and May on repeat. Remember what happened in April and May. Don't be surprised. Learn from what happened. The algorithms have kicked on. They're lighting the fires and kicking the tires. Up, up, and away. Nasdaq just got cleared to flight level 29.5, unrestricted tactical ascent. Say when ready, 9 line. All the way up. We're going to eat today, baby, straight up. No shorting. No shorting. We're already up 300 points since the opening range low. All the way up. You may have mentioned this already. What is your conviction to be so bullish? SpotGam, I was working out the last few streams. No, so, you know, I did the weekly brief with the Tier 2 community on Sunday nights. And the daily chart on Sunday night was exceptionally bullish on the S&P. Now, the main thing I was fighting with over the weekend was how bearish Nasdaq charts looked, even though it still had some bottom wicks, and how bullish the S&P charts. The S&P charts was exceptionally bullish, But we also know the reason why the Nasdaq was down. We talked about that, which was the Citadel Situational Awareness Fund rug pull. But the S&P was incredibly bullish. Bottom wicks, high volume across the daily, weekly, and monthly charts. And then once we took out that little spacing, which we noted, it was off to the races. Twisted steel, it's just twisted steel and sex appeal, baby. And now the S&P is blasted to all-time highs in 2 days. So it was all the charts. You know, the options, I don't do a lot of options analysis, if any at all, on the macro environment. The only time I really turn to the macro to the options when I'm looking for macro stuff is if I just have nothing to play off of, and levels and stuff like that when we're pulling into new all-time highs. But even then, I still have price action. So it wasn't the options. You know, I don't think the options could have called this whatsoever. I just think the price action was exceptionally bullish. Every single time we try to go lower, we high volume hammer, high volume hammer, high volume hammer, and here we are, just squeezy McSqueezerson. They did the same exact thing from September until March of 2026, and then bottom wicked, and then they launched it. We had 3 days of downtrend in March, and then they hammered it on March 31st, and that was all she wrote. And now they're doing the same thing on new all-time highs. So the only way I'm going to consider entering back into a bearish thesis and top wicking back over is a sweeping high volume top wick after morning green, afternoon red, the same exact thing we did back in June of 2026. That's it. Keep the price action. Let the VPA play what you're going to play. Hey, another spammer in the server thinks that everyone's going to go sign up for their crap service. 1 second. Let me get him out of here. Boom. Hey, y'all remember Christos? So he would spam rocket ships every now and then whenever the market would go down. Yeah, it turns out I realized that he had not been paying the past like 2 years. That's why he would always disappear for forever. But he had his own community, so he would come in here and try to spam his community, his crap community. Typical retail rocket ship community. So I was like, oh yeah, I reported him to Discord for being a spammer. Not sushi, but the Lighthouse waterfront and super good food. Interesting. That sounds delicious. DS is going to blast through all-time high. Already has, homie. Already has. In and out, pay out, and pass. 2 TRADIFYs. Nice, Mitch. Well done, baby. Let's keep it going. 29,500. Hit that like button if you like what you see, like what you hear. There's nothing to do here except just long. You know, the 3 Cs, or anything for that matter, it's hard to keep up with just straight rocket ships. All you can do is long. Don't short whatsoever unless you have a very dang good reason to do so. Not, oh, this looks pretty good. We could top roll over here. Nope. You've got to be very technical on moves like this. The slop trade is with the bulls, not the bears. We do have Jolt's job openings in 5 minutes. All the way up, baby. All the way up. Love it. All the way up. Alrighty. The current contract with is not at all. The S&P is what I'm talking about. You're probably right. I don't track all-time highs on ES futures because with the contract rolls doesn't really matter. The true definition of all-time highs comes with SPY. A little bit of red. First red of the day. 176% win on Q calls. Nice, Pine Beach Dan. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up. Love it. Extraordinary couple of sessions. You're going to be wishing this price action is back. SpaceX earnings is today at the close, not tomorrow morning. Is it? I was showing tomorrow before the bell. All right, I stand corrected, or I sit corrected. I was wondering why you were saying that. Yeah, if you look on the earnings calendar, it shows August. No, you are right. I was rereading it. It said August 4th, my bad. I got a lot going on. All right, S&P is 76.81. We have our first top wick of the day, but it's already bottom wicking. Is the stream working? I think the stream's working. Is the stream working? Bottom wick again. These opening rocket ships are kind of annoying because I never track a trade the first 5 minutes. Very cautious in the first 10. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. And, you know, I don't fault anyone for not longing this move because it happened so quickly and it's so aggressive. It's difficult. It's very difficult to chase that move, and I get it. But the only thing I can really recommend is position sizing down and understanding market environment. Market environment right now is straight pumping, straight ripping into tearing. You only have a few days, a month, if that, to be bear. That's it. And after that is gone, you just have to look to straight bulls, straight by the dip. Was that a 3C short on NASDAQ? Not really. We never faced any volume. We came into 500. Now, 500 is a 0-0 level. It's like one of those clean, crisp levels that markets tend to pivot through. But, I mean, we blew through 400, 300, all of it. So, it wasn't the cleanest. Not to mention, I don't want to short this. We had a little bit of volume come in on the 950 candle, but it did not show up on the 5 minute because it was just a momentary volume spike, and then everything went super low on volume, which is weird. And then they kind of drop it back down instantly, the bottom wicket. So even still, there's not. I mean, yeah, you can kind of play games with yourself and say, well, if I caught the top, I can get a quick 100 points on that scalp. That's not realistic, and you got to stop thinking like that if that is what you do. So I don't care about those quick 2 red candles. Holy crap, I missed the trade. I want, if there is a short position to be had, I want this. I want the full reversal. I don't care about this little crap. So I kind of cage my expectations a little bit. If there is a short to be had and the volume shows up and we have a 3C short indication, all that kind of fun stuff, I want the full reversal, not just 2 candles. I don't want to have to be scrambling on my mouse to get my stop on before it bounces and stops me out. I want to kick back and sip on my drink and watch it go down. Jolt's bearish for the dollar? Probably. Yeah, we do have data in 1 minute. We do have data. We have Jolt's job openings in 1 minute, which is a 3-star event. You can trade it on TPT. It's not a red letter event. So no worries. No worries. Let's see what they do. Hoping for a pullback here to get long. Yes, sir. So looking at this, let's go to the 5 minute. All we have is still bottom wick, so there's not a lot of bearishness here whatsoever. Closing under the 460 or so would give you the first indication of a lower low. And then, of course, 423 would get you probably screaming down another 100 points here. But still, they're hammering everything. Everything is still bottom wicky. The S&P is still going to new highs here. All of tech is insanely green. SpaceX, SanDisk, MU, Google, everything just green, green, green. What's interesting, though, is that 8 of the 10 X's are red for the S&P. So it's interesting. This is a single point of failure session. This is not what we saw yesterday in terms of straight gasoline. Everything yesterday was bright green. Today, only 7 of the 10 sectors are red. XLK is up 3.5%. So tech is pumping the S&P this morning, which is interesting. No shorting. No shorting. Which is weird because NASDAQ is not pumping and S&P is pumping. S&P's a honey badger so far. Yes, sir. 29,500. Straight up. We have liquidity at 76.90. This is now 2 days in a row of just straight pumping. Straight pumping. We are now up 150 points since yesterday's open on the S&P. Straight up. And heck, we're up 270 points since Friday's open. I mean, just absolute monster move on the S&P. Monster move. Blowing through all the macro. It's blowing through everything, man. This is as straight up gets. This is straight up as straight up gets. Higher tenor options just retraced, but have PTSD from April. Yep, no good. VIX is rocketing, or at least it did rocket at the open alongside the S&P as NASDAQ. And it is unbelievable to watch. Where's the liquidity on NAS? Let's take a look. 650. 650. Now 29,500. I'm sure you heard me say at the open there that we're going for 29,500. That's where the first liquidity was on the book, and we just tapped it. And next is 650. Now I don't know how ridiculous they're going to be today, because 650 would be preposterous. But in these market conditions, remember, go back and look at April and May if you think this can't happen. The rallies are getting more and more aggressive. From 2020 and then the 21 rally, and the 23 rally, and the 25 rally, and now this will be the third rally in 2026 that goes into ludicrous mode. The rallies are getting more aggressive. They're going more and more up. And some say it's because our dollar is getting crushed right now. So they have to inflate these assets to overcome that. I don't know. There's 1,000 different reasons on why the market is pumping. Some say it's AI driven. It's forward-looking prospects of the economy. Who knows? But all we know is the rallies are getting more and more aggressive here. So that thought in your mind, well, it can't keep going. Let's short. You got to cut that out. Lance it out. You have to be shorn of all your bearishness. Straight up. 100% on SPY and holding. No 3Cs to make me. That's right, side gig. That's right. That is right. 30,000, baby. We only got 500 more points until 30,000. We're going. We are going. Still going. Let's go take a look at the S&P. 7690. Straight freaking up. Straight freaking up. Unrelated, but I've been making cold brew coffee at home, and it's way better than hot coffee. Can't believe I'm saying that. I'm not a big fan of hot coffee anyway, but so I could think that I'd probably think that's correct. A little bit of cold coffee. This is 2 days in a row now that the S&P is just straight ripping. It's even more aggressive than yesterday, believe it or not. Just straight up. Cold blue is strong. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Straight up. NASDAQ is pumping. S&P is pumping. No shorting. No puts. No shorting. I agree the dollar valuation of these stocks isn't making sense anymore. The richest company in the world buys a share of a couple hundred. Yep. What are the 3 C's? What's up, Andy? 3 C's is my trading system. It stands for 3 criteria. 3 criteria is the mechanism I use to enter or exit trades. It stands for, the first criteria is volume, the second criteria is wick, and the third criteria is follow through. Basically, what I need to see is if I'm looking for a rejection or a bounce, I need to see a very strong amount of volume inflow. I need to see a buyer's wick for a bounce or a seller's wick for a reject short, and then follow through. If I'm looking for continuation, I need to see none of those, or at least no volume. Volume basically tells me where there's activity in the market. So like right now, for example, if you're someone who's looking for a short, me personally, I am not, you need to see a tremendous amount of volume to stop this freight train. This is a 4-mile long Pittsburgh coal train that weighs 200,000 tons rolling down the tracks. This thing needs to be punched in the face in order to stop it. It needs to be derailed. Denzel Washington needs to be carted in on a helicopter to stop this train. It's running down the tracks. You can't short it. In order to do that, you got to see a tremendous amount of volume to get this freight train to slow down. And only then do you want to come down. I am not someone who wants to scalp 10 to 15 point shorts on this way up. I want to hold long, and when I see a tremendous amount of volume, then I want to short and hopefully catch the 100 points back down. That's the only way. So volume is your key friend here. And if you don't see volume, you stay long bias, and you just continue to move your trailing stops up until you get that, period. Keep things simple. Keep it simple. KISS, K-I-S-S-G, K-I-S-S-G, KISSGA. Keep it simple, silly goose. 7,900 or 7,600 coming up to 7,700, and we're blasting 29,524. Speed 2, the S&P Bugalo. It's going. NASDAQ straight up. We're up 320 points since the open. The S&P is up like crazy. It's up 50 points already. 270 points since Friday. You're welcome, Andy. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're cooking here. We're cooking. There's nothing to do here except long or nothing. If you're not comfortable longing, do nothing. Do not short. Remember that scene in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Do not seek the treasure. Yeah, don't short. I tried to short yesterday afternoon. That was confirmed on the 15 and still took an L. Yeah, I did too. But yesterday was a good a good example of when you're in a short position or any position and it's causing you stress, it's causing you anxiety, just get out of the trade. It does not work. A measly 13 points. Who cares? Just get out of the trade. Let the market do what it's going to do and move on to the next trade. Yeah, I was happy with it. Like I said, I stand by that position. I would take it again in hindsight. So, just basing on what I saw. I mean, you saw that call position dump. I love pullbacks and going long. Yes, sir. 5 more points and I passed the funded. My first funded, by the way. Nice. K2. Beautiful. You on your TPT funded, right? Or the eval? I love it. Then you get that beautiful activation fee waived and then you start cranking. You start cranking. That was whack. S&P and NASDAQ are still straight up. Remember, I want you, if you cannot believe what you're seeing here, go back and look at April and May. They've already done this. This is what happened. They got everyone bearish for one reason or another, and then whammy and straight up. There's nothing to talk about here. Like we could do some impromptu comedy if you want, but that's pretty much it because we're just straight up. No shorting. All the way, baby. All the way. Where is it? All right, what y'all thinking? $100K account. I've had 4 consecutive 1K days, and today will make a 2K day. Beautiful. Keep it going, baby. Nice and slow. Especially when you get funded, keep things nice and slow. Slow and steady. That is all. Lunch? Yeah, buddy. What are you thinking? You thinking about my tax bill? That's a good problem to have, Mojo, but heck, man. I hate paying taxes. Would like better price structure? Yeah. What did Jolt say? I didn't even look at it. Trend is your friend. Anna Coling does not think so. She does not believe in trend is your friend, but yeah. I'm thinking I wish it didn't hold a long overnight because it has to pull back. Yeah. I don't pay taxes anymore. Too much fuel. Yeah. When I set a trail stop on TRADIFY, I set it at a stop price and it follows that by many points. If you set a strategy trailing stop like that, then yes, that's what it'll work. Hold it short. That's what I figured you meant. Still going. The S&P 7,700. No shorting. I'm telling you, don't do it. I'm curious what Anna Coling is saying about the current market. I'll have to take a look. But if I had to guess that she was also long biased on the S&P after what happened last week, I'm curious what she says. 7,700 on the S&P straight up. All the way straight up. Right here, babe. Coming in late. Did you remove the day trade channel? I did not. Still there. I'm back after a couple years away. Can you provide an explanation of your offerings? Yeah. Welcome back, Aaron. How you doing? I love it. Yeah, so I have 2 tiers. I don't think anything's changed. I haven't changed the pricing, and I haven't changed the structure of the. I've tried to add more value, but that's it. So you got the tier 1, tier 2. Tier 1 is educational, a lot of content, swing trades, etc. And the the tier 1 channel, we have the chat channel plus we've now since brought back the day trades channel as well. 25 smackaroos. Still going, NASDAQ or S&P 7,700 all the way, baby. This is easy money. Easy money. No shorting, if at all. And let me put something into your noodle here. I want to be like an infectious amoeba right now, getting into your brain. Like you drank some bad water in Mexico. You drank out of the Amazon River, and now you have like a brain infection. Don't get down on yourself if you're not longing, but you're also not shorting. So if you're just watching this and you haven't shorted, that is good. Don't sweat it. It's okay. This is not normal price action. We don't normally see this. This is blast off, so it's fine. If you're not doing anything right now, don't feel FOMO. Just chill, relax. It's fine. As long as you're not shorting, you're fine. Just wait for the opportunity. Small position sizing, crank it up. That's it. The more I watch these videos of school board meetings and how incompetent the members are regarding a lot of things they're allowing in schools these days, the more likely to homeschool the future kids. Yep. My daughter's going into middle school, and I told her that I want to homeschool her, and she said she wanted to go try middle school. So I'm going to give her 1 year, and then I'm gonna homeschool her if she lets me. That's right, Jimba. That's right. All right, NASDAQ, S&P is still just straight blasting, baby. 7,700 and up and away. We are squeezing. We are squeezing. Some say the market's going to pump because this is the last hurrah before a sell-off. However, how many times is it going to pump to do that? Like, it's just pumperoni. This is like when you go to Starbucks and say, hey, I want 2 pumps of foam, except that foam is bright green, and instead of 2, it's 15 pumps of silicone dioxide, silicon dust. Have y'all gone to Starbucks and had that silica latte? If you have healthy lungs, it's a great remedy for healthy lungs. It'll give you like asthma, collapsed lung. It's good stuff. In this kind of environment, how should we pay attention to the VIX climbing? Yeah, we talked about that too, Jukebox. This morning we saw that the VIX was rocket ship, and that's because the VIX is bottomed out. Now, it's very important that we pay attention to that. The VIX is going green, but I want you to be careful on thinking, holy crap, the VIX is going green, we need to short the S&P. If you don't understand the VIX, it's easy to make the mistake of correlating directly downside with the S&P with green on the VIX. It's a very common mistake that the average trader makes. The uninformed trader, I should say, makes. The VIX is it's called the fear index because it's simply a derivative of hedging of the S&P. And right now what we're seeing with the VIX down into the lower 15s, it's bottomed out. That's bottom volatility for this environment. It's not going to go lower than that. Puts are dirt cheap. So with the puts being dirt cheap, hedge funds think, all right, well, puts are so incredibly cheap, I can put on a couple of hedges for next to nothing. Hedging in the market is normal. So with that said, we're going to start to see some weird anomalies of VIX being green and the S&P being green together. Now, and I do think eventually that leads to the correlation of the S&P falling, but not yet. Not yet. Higher VIX means hedging gets more expensive, 100%. And eventually we will have a topping phase as the deltas get to a certain point where they have to kind of de-risk the S&P, and we come down a little bit. But not yet. There's a difference between the VIX being at 18 and we have some sort of overnight headline hit and VIX rockets, and it's compared to the VIX being bottomed out and we have a bounce on the VIX because of what I just described. And that's what you have to understand. Paparazzi, that's right, LJ. I just passed my 25K Nova on top 1. I'm about to pay my activation fee, see what I can do. Nice. What's up, BJ? How you doing? I don't know what Nova is. Let me know how that goes. I'm curious. Still rocket ships. haven't had Starbucks in at least 5 years. Waste of money. It was terrible. Man, this is still going. Don't short. Listen to me. Listen. What's up, June? How you doing? A higher VIX. Already said that. Thatch. What's up? Every time I hear the word thatch, like thatch, I think of those roofs that you see in like London. You know, it's like made out of like straw, which is nuts to me. It's crazy that those roofs are still happening in this day and age. But it's cool. Like you see, watch the videos of it, and them building those roofs. It's like 4 feet of straw. All right, still going, 77.05. What do y'all think? I tried not to be too intolerable today. Straight up. Now, normally, this is not normal market conditions. How I would look for this to come to a halt would be a strong green, smashing top wick to give yourself a hanging man candle, lower low with volume, and then we begin at least a temporary retracement. It's very difficult to even consider or talk about a reversal, but just a temporary retracement. That's how I would look for it. Now that right there, that's a sweeping red. We'll see if they can close it without bottom wicking. Get short, boys. Here it comes. All right. Everyone's passing today. Congrats. I'm $43 away from passing a 50K. Nice glitch. Fantastic. Well done. Well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm telling you, man, take profit trader. You get that baby funded. You put in the work. You go slow. You will make massive amounts of money with it with the daily payouts. As long as you have a system, of course. Do it. Do it. I'm on hands as I missed the last few days looking for opportunities elsewhere. That's okay. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere. You got gold, you got oil, you got silver. I mean, individual names if you want. That's fine. Still going. Another thing to consider is this puppy right here, TLT. Let's go down to the daily chart on tilt. And what do you see here? Do you see? You can say it. What do you see here on TLT? The same thing we saw in the S&P last week. Remember the first 5 minutes in the movie Back to the Future where you see him cranking the volume up on those giant speakers? Where Marty McFly was cranking the volume up. That's what we see, baby. High volume bottom wick as we now enter this volume spike from under November 2023. And we already have a bottom wick. Not to mention yields come down. When yields go down, bonds go up. When bonds go up, VIX yields go down and vice versa. So there's plenty of names to trade. You don't have to be stuck trading ES and NASDAQ futures if you don't want to. There's plenty of stuff. Now that we have single stock futures, you can trade those too. Is this a 3C short here? We have some volume. Meh. This is such a difficult market to short. I don't want to until it's jumping off the pages at me and like I need to get in a short position. I don't want to. Not yet. First funded I've ever bought and I passed it. That's why I'm so hyped right now. That's awesome, K2. Keep it up, man. Hey, take it nice and easy. I want you to think about that funded account as don't focus on the money. Try to keep that account open for at least a month. Put it in your brain that you're going to keep that account open for a month and trade around that thought, and you'll be just fine. We have aggressive call selling, put buying. Thoughts on options right now? Yeah. So we see we have 1.3 billion in puts purchased and 183 million calls sold. But we have more bottom wicks. So will we get a pullback here? Possibly. I mean, at some point, after 3 days of just straight up, we're going to have an aggressive, juicy pullback, and it's going to be nice. We just have to be patient. We have to be timely. Hmm. What do y'all think, homies? What do y'all think? I'm on my first funded account as well, yes, since yesterday with these large price candles. Should I just stick with 1 or 2 micros? Yes, 100%. Minis should not even be on the menu for you. You just sat down at the restaurant. It's your first time at this restaurant. Stick to the appetizers, micros, right now. Try it out. See how things go. Nice and slow. Do yourself a favor. I'm filled with metaphors. You're short MNQ. Nice, Jimba. Be safe. Be well. I'm trying to get y'all into something here. NASDAQ is bouncing back up. Still nothing but bottom wicks on the NASDAQ. All the way up, baby. It's impressive to watch. It's impressive to watch. Massive green candle on the NASDAQ. Still going straight up, baby. Still going straight up. Very difficult to short anything here. It's just, you know that frustration when you're short on a massive green day? There's nothing worse in this world than that. There's nothing worse. You know those videos of the Irish guys doing the Irish dancing, like with the crazy footwork? I forget what it's called. The Irish dance. I'm sure some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what the name of that dance is. Anyway, I would rather have those guys dance on my scrotum than me short this market and hold for hours. That's how badly I don't want to take a short position. And I don't recommend you taking a short position. Simply because the pain is ridiculous and that aggravation. So me personally sitting here as a trader, thinking about risk reward, the number one thought in my mind is risk reward. And honestly, I don't calculate risk reward. You know, I don't sit there and think, well, I'm going to take this trade because it's got a 3-to-1 risk reward, 3-1, 4-1, whichever. I just think in my mind, what's the risk versus reward at these areas? And right now with the market just pumping down the tracks, the odds of me catching a short trade so timely is very low. I want the market conditions, aka change of character, to begin to shift from an upside to a downside transition. And then I want to catch the right side of the V, or in this case, right side of the inverse V, to get me in a short position. And I'll be just fine. River dance, there you go. 7,700. We do have aggressive call buy or call selling put buying. The options, if you're looking at the zeros, the options look dire. It looks like we're about to plummet on the options. We have very interesting cross currents here. Very interesting cross currents right here. Next week begins practices for my first season of being a head coach. I've already got my shorts ready to go, my my clipboard, my whistle. It's going to be great. I'm going to grow out my mustache. It's going to be fun. Knee-high tube socks. That's right. That's right. NASDAQ pumping to new all-time, well, not all-time, sorry, new highs of the day again. Just straight up bottom wicks. That's just very difficult to short anything. Very difficult to short anything. Up, up, and away, baby. Up, up, and away. Just in time to return to Ted Lasso. Never seen that. Another top wick. What questions do you have on YouTube? What do you got? What do you got? We have tremendous amount of call selling put buying right now. Let me hit refresh. All right. It's taking forever to refresh. Taking forever to refresh. Yeah. So they have sold off $2 billion in calls, and they have purchased $2.3 billion in puts. Now, the difference between yesterday, because yesterday the options faked us out too, but yet the difference is yesterday the puts were not affected. Today, they are. They're buying a tremendous amount of puts and selling a tremendous amount of calls. So what do we do? What do we do? I see no volume spikes. I see no top wicks. Protection hedging. That's what it appears to be. You're up 100 points in your long now. Nice, Megabaguli. Nice. I love it. Another top wick. Was there, when they are conflicting, hold on, let me go over here. When there are conflicting candle wicks for each time frame, example, bottom wicks on the 5, but top wick on the 10 minute, how do you decipher between the two? Well, it really depends on the style of trade you want to take. The higher time frames always have precedence, but it also depends on the type of trade you're taking. If you're looking to scalp, you don't necessarily need the 15-minute wicks unless you're coming into a major pivot. So it really depends on the style of trade. Some people like popping in and out of one candle in a minute or two or less. So, yeah, it depends. Nice, June. Well done, buddy. Options are tremendously bearish. Under normal conditions, I'd already be short. But these are not normal conditions. I'm terrified of shorting. NASDAQ still tearing. You're welcome, Andy. Good question. I like it. It's a fantastic question. I like good questions. What to do next? That's the question. What to do next? Sit on our hands and wait for volume. I got to readjust my charts. My apologies. Still going. NASDAQ is about to pop up again higher. So far, we're mimicking yesterday's price action, which means short positions are nearly impossible. The time will come where the short will be obvious. It won't be, well, we may short here. It may look like it goes down here. When it goes down, it's going to be like, holy crap. Like, here we go. So just be patient for that. How patient can you be? Bears trading for the next battle. Yeah, 100%. Tell me about it. Stopped out with 200% on SPY and done for the day. Just an observer. Nice side gig, Guru. Well done, buddy. Well done. Love it. I bet you we'll have a nice retracement today. Might be worth a SPY 0DTE lotto. Cheap lotto. Put a couple $100 on it. See if you could turn it into a couple thousand. That'd be nice. It might be worth it on a day like today. will see. We will see. $77.01, still going. Hmm. Hmm. It's 22,550. I haven't placed a trade yesterday or today because I don't like the price. I guess I'm packed. No, that's 100% okay. There's nothing wrong with that, Tim. I understand that. These are very rare days. It doesn't happen that often. So usually there's plenty of opportunity for both shorts and longs to play. But on the days like the past 2 days, it doesn't happen that often. This is the initiation of the trend. So to get the train going back the other direction, upwards on the daily chart, you have to have a couple of days like this to kind of get the momentum going. So if you're not comfortable trading this condition, just wait. Tomorrow we should probably go back to a little bit more short position capability. Until then, just wait. When you do those lottos, how outside the money do you play? It depends on where we are. Right now, I'm not going to play too far out if I were to do so. Power hour, I'll play a little bit further out because I want the whole point of playing the power hour trade is to get those gigantic gamma explosions. And honestly, one trade can pay for a month worth of those risks. What is the volume waiting for? It seems like a pause chop time. Yeah, so far. How is it that volume is declining with prices going up? That's common. That's how trends work. LL Cool J. So, the volume begins the trend normally. So somewhere in the first half of the trend, you're going to have a lot of volume spikes as price comes up. And then as the price goes up and up and up and up, the volume goes down and down and down and down and down. And typically, trends fail on this type of pattern where price action pattern just kind of rolls over. This is precisely why yesterday I tried to take a shorts, about an hour from now is when I actually entered it, because that pattern typically leads to a temporary retracement, and then if the bulls continue, then they hit, and then they go up even more. So that's how things typically go. Downward trending volume, kind of rolling over style price action, and then it's finished off by a little kind of dump and pump and a high volume spike here to end the trend and then come back down. So trends are started and ended with volume. It's always bookended by volume. Because the buyers start the high volume and the sellers finish with high volume. And both of it shows up as high volume. There is a big pop and drop. We'll see what they actually do. Right here. Low volume pumps or price discovery. There you go. There you go. That was a nice little top and drop. Unless you reset pros. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't recommend resetting pros. Never recommend that. Take Profit Trader allows you the capabilities to reset your funded accounts, but I don't recommend it unless you've taken a lot of payouts from that account. Just don't do it. I struggle with low volume and then spike in volume if it's a change of character. Well, that's what I'll be happy to help you as much as I can. So, low volume fades as price action moves, and then you start to see this type of stuff. That is a high volume spike. And with the candle itself, that is how the candle would form if I'm looking for a drop. very quick, aggressive, out of nowhere pump, and then equivalently aggressive top wick back over, plus with volume. So far we have 2 of the 3 qualified criteria on the 1 minute. On the 5 minute, it's showing the same thing. So this does look like a 3C criteria short is setting up for a retracement. That's how it would normally set up under normal market conditions. The S&P did the same thing. Extraordinary volume. That had to have been driven by a data posting, some sort of a tweet or something, because that's tremendous volume. But I don't see anything. And they're still buying it up. Let's see if they can close that one. That'd be nice. Still waiting. $77.04. We have 29.530 on here. Still can't get it. How do you spot low volume test on reversals? So when you have a high volume spike here, like a 1038, and then we come back up and we retest this level, we already have 1, 2, 3 rejections off of the opening range high of 568 on NASDAQ. And on the S&P, we are twice rejection off of this area, and this is a third attempt, which if they reclaim a high volume top wick, that's going to be a launch pad for the bulls. So if they put on a high volume top wick such as that, and that's the highest volume candle of the day by a factor of like, that's 2x the volume of the highest candle of the day. And I don't see it on any obvious timeline, which means that is actual supply. If the buyers reclaim this and close over that wick of 77.10, it's going to fly, like squeeze beyond belief to another 30 points or so, simply because it shows you how strong the buyers are and how weak the sellers are, because that's a tremendous high volume top wick. That's extraordinary. And the buyers would be like, all right, whatever, man. What else you got? Let's go. That's like taking primetime Mike Tyson, right jab to the jaw. And you just like, all right, what's for dinner? No big deal. Typically, who is the leader, SPX, ES, or SPY? I don't think there is a typical answer to that. I look at it based on who's the actual index, which is SPY is the actual stock, is the ETF. SPX is the options index, and ES is the futures contract. Will SPY moon today? SPY's already moon today. Like, we're all celebrating Apollo 11. You're celebrating Apollo 17. We've already been there, done that. We're mooning, baby. All those calls they sold off, we bought them back up. Straight up, baby. Straight up. Good questions. Good questions. What else you got? What other questions do you have for me today? Thoughts, comments, concerns. I like it. We still have 45 minutes until London close, and we've been doing nothing but straight up. Beans on toast, baby. Beans on toast, straight up. What's for lunch? I don't have lunch planned out today. I do have a gigantic turkey on the smoker. So on the day after Thanksgiving last year, we bought 8 turkeys because they were on sale for 30 cents a pound at Publix. Organic grass-fed turkeys, or whatever, organic turkeys. So we bought them and froze them. It's free meat, baby. It was like $8 for 8 turkeys, gigantic. I didn't see what Dan said. I'm sure it was repulsive. 50K giveaway? Yep, we're going to do that. We're going to do a 50K and a 150K giveaway. Don't you have free ones in your yard? I do. But I can't pass up 30 cents a pound, baby. All right, 29,542. It'd be worth buying a new freezer to stock those in. Yeah. We have the freezer loaded with deer, turkey, chicken that we made. It's good stuff. Tomatoes. Might have to do that this year. Do it. It's free protein, man. 29,553, still straight up. The more you short it, the higher it goes. S&P took out that candle. Up, up, and away, baby. No shorting. When 90% of the time the market has pullbacks and retracements and top wicks, it's difficult to put it in your brain these 2 or 4 days out of the year where they do this to long highs constantly and never short. It's difficult. I like turkey meat over chicken, just not taste. But I think feel better, placebo or something. I'm not a turkey fan, man. Normally, like a Thanksgiving food doesn't really hype me up. I like chicken, but when it's 30 cents a pound, I'll eat anything. I'll eat Rocky Mountain oysters for 30 cents a pound, a whole bucket of them. Is it shit? No, it's like a full actual turkey. I plot the 90 EMA and the 1 on the 2-minute. Nice. Haven't heard of Publix since I left Tampa 8 years ago. There you go. Yeah, Publix is good stuff. It's extremely expensive, but it's good stuff. All right, 29,550. S&P is 77.10 straight up, no shorting. Once it releases, we'll go up another 30 or so. Up and away. What y'all got for me? What you think? Still going. Hard to ignore that volume. It is. Might need an R6 on a day like today. Yeah. We know just a long Qs and SPY. What's happening with CLGC? Let's take a look. I haven't even looked at them today. They have some great short opportunities. High volume top wick occurred at 9. They had a 3C short that's still in progress. Silver, the same thing with volume. Very clean setups. We should have been trading those too. Oil with another high volume 3C bottom wick. It's great. The higher we go, the more I think Black Swan. I have issues. Man, I don't know what's going to cause a Black Swan other than a nuclear blast or AI taking over the government. Look at what we've been through the past 6 years, and nothing has rugged the market. And not only has it not rugged the market, it's gone parabolic like 6 times straight up. We're putting on the most bullish moves we've ever had on repeat, and it's getting more aggressive week after week, month after month. We're going higher and higher, more aggressively every passing month. Trust me, I was looking for a major crash after 2023 or so. I was like, this can't keep happening. Like, the market can't keep just launching like this. And here we are. So I don't know what's causing it. I don't know if they're artificially pumping liquidity because we're about to get smoked. I don't know if it's because AI is truly that bullish for the market. I don't know if Elon is right and we're about to have universal high income. I don't know if it's... I don't know. I don't know if it's because the dollar is so devalued they have to pump asset prices. You could give me any logical explanation you want, or illogical, and it all sounds equally plausible. The 401k, that's another one. Is that because the pensions are so important for the stock market that they have to keep it up, and the fact that because we have the 401k that requires required buying every month, that the market is going to continue to go up. Maybe it's Trump just absolutely pumping the market because of him. But then again, we had 4 years of Biden that the market still went up too. And he just sat there and licked ice cream cones and stared into the camera blindly. So who knows? Who knows? All I can say is that if the past 6 years' events hasn't tanked the market, then I don't know what will. Unless it's something so aggressive that that's the end of us all. All that to say, buy the dip. Buy the dip. What's up, SPQ? How much put call selling volume will it take to sink this? I don't know. Right now, this is the initiation of the bounce after what happened last week. All they've really done is undo last week, but they've done it very quickly. So, it creates a vacuum. And we've done it very, very quickly. Billionaires having to invest. They're all getting in before the market cools. AI pumping the market so it can crash it out on us. Have to become organic batteries to survive. You just described the Matrix. Oh, yeah, you just said Matrix, yeah. I had a crazy work schedule last month or so, mainly trading Asia. Keep doing the thing where I pass a prop account. I get to the final day. I need to hit consistency goal and I find myself losing, unraveling, and popping on payout day. Size down. If that's the case, size down. On days like today, I size down. I typically don't do well on extended days, up or down. On severely red days, after I get done shorting, I have a tendency to try to buy the dip. And if it's one of those days that doesn't buy the dip, I take losses. Days like today, I like to long the open, but if it keeps going all day, I try to short it and I take losses. So I know I need to size down under my personal market conditions. So if that's a problem with you, if that's your conditions where you take losses, you've got two things going against you now, Lanner. Number one is the emotional side. You lose on that day, so it's in your head. It's like they tell you don't think about the elephant, but now all you can do is think about the elephant. Number two is just certain market conditions. You're striving to pass the dollar amount goal, which the market doesn't care about. So simply just size down and inch your way through it. Don't focus on passing that day. Pass it in a couple of days. It ain't no big deal. There's all the time in the world. I'd go even lower than that. If 50% of the SPY is allocated in top 10, it's more than that. It's like 97% of the S&P is allocated to the top 10 tech stocks. What happens when tech growth slows down or pulls back? Well, one would say that it's going down. But, yeah. But they, in the event they have any kind of material changes in companies. So let's say the biggest name in the S&P right now is Apple. I think it's 8% of the S&P is Apple. It's been back and forth now for like 5 years. Like Nvidia was first, Microsoft was top dog, Apple was top dog in the S&P. So let's just say theoretically, Apple gets crushed. Let's say Apple does something stupid. Let's say the new CEO of Apple comes on and say, hey, we're done making phones. We're going to start making toilets. We're going to get into the toilet business. And their stock price plummets, or something like that. The S&P will have started reallocating out of that well in the future, well in advance is what I mean. So that's why I like to look at the spider. Go to the ssga.com occasionally, once a week, once a month, once a quarter, and look at how the S&P is allocating. If they start allocating one of these names down out of the top 10, then you'll know something's coming. So that's the way that they mitigate that. Unless something drastically happens in the name of a business, they'll allocate themselves out of a catastrophe. But still, sometimes it happens very quickly, like the dot-com bubble popping, stuff like that. There's only so much they can do. In the age of AI, I believe the algos are steering the markets. I would 100% agree. If I can do what I can do with Claude and AI, there's no telling what kind of alien, extraterrestrial, Egyptian pyramid technology they've got behind the scenes running this thing. Heck, they probably found an algorithm for trading AIs from the stock market of 200,000 years ago written on the Egyptian walls, and they're using that. And that's why we're all of a sudden pumping all the time. Nice, Lowen. NASDAQ, S&P still going, baby. What does price action on MES look like to me? Straight bull. Straight bullish. Take the best marathon runner in the world, give him a couple ounces of cocaine, and tell him to go run. Are we above the top part of the downtrend on NASDAQ? Let me take a look. Talking about a trend line? Yes, we are above it. I guess it depends on where you plot it, but if you're doing this one, I mean, yes, but either way, we're still above it. The S&P is straight gasoline. Look at that, man. Just monster move on it on the S&P. That's crazy. 400 points. The S&P is up 400 points in 2 days. No, I'm sorry, 2 weeks. That's insane. Hero showing 2 billion in long puts and calls flattening. That is accurate, sir. That is accurate. Grok thinks I'm from India. Yeah. This market is bananas. Yes, sir, it is. What's your current stack for trading? Is it Spot, Gamma, Bookmap, TradingView? That's it. Yes, sir. I have Spot Gamma on one screen. I've got Bookmap on another screen. I've got TradingView on my main screen along with my streaming software, my Streamlabs and all that stuff. Like 16 brokerages at this point. Is this a short squeeze? I think it was probably initiated by a short squeeze. Now it's not. Now it's more just momentum, market momentum. We saw this back in April and May. This is now becoming a normal market condition, which is crazy to say. My son got his $1,000 Trump money account, bought SPY right away. It's all automatic. Yeah, buddy. I like it. Yeah, buddy. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm trying to improv here, but there ain't much to say. Just rocket ships. That's it. Look at the S&P. I mean, this is nuts. It's gonna blow a lot of people's minds. Up and away. No shorting. Do yourself a favor. Where can I get a social security number? Hey, do your son a favor. Don't get him a social security number. Then he doesn't have to pay taxes. That's the best gift you can give him. S&P is just straight ripping. Straight ripping. He's going to be no one. He's going to be like a faceless man. That's right. You're doing great. I would have shorted this market several times a year ago. Hey, you and me both, man. I would have shorted this market several times. April and May, not even joking. April and May, like I learned a lot from that. I tried to short the first 2 weeks of that freaking rally. And then after that, like somewhere around the second, third week of April, I was like, screw that. Only buy the dip, that's it. I learned a lot from that. And now this rally doesn't surprise me because we've seen it already. We have seen it already. Wall Street is lazy. All they do is copy and paste the same algorithm every couple of weeks, every couple of months. We just have to be patient enough to look at it. I have a question for you all. Has anyone had any experience with asphalt milling driveways? Not asphalt, but the millings of asphalt. I got smoked short in this market last week like a dumb. Yeah. I feel you. Pro tip, always listen to OM. Yeah, buddy. Absolutely. I'll try to lead y'all in the right direction as many times as I can. That's what I'm trying to do, baby. Slow and steady. S&P is straight up. Percent saying it's possible Hormuz deal today or tomorrow, so you were right. Fraud. Yes, sir. That's what they did. He loaded calls and then did it over and over again. All the way over. Straight up, baby. NASDAQ straight up. S&P is literally straight up. And I told you all, if they took out that high volume top wick, it's off to the races. And that's what they've done. Forrest Gump. Right there. High volume top wicks being claimed shows how strong the buyers are here. Think about the Mike Tyson metaphor. Straight up, baby. No shorting. This is even more aggressive than yesterday, and yesterday was absurd. All day, every day, baby. All day, every day. On the pro account, can you take a payout anytime, or do you have to hit the 3K limit on the 50 count? You just have to hit the buffer the first time, and after that, you can take a payout for as many times as you need to. Nice, Magabaguli. Well done, buddy. Well freaking done. S&P straight up. NASDAQ is straight up. All day, every day, baby. Straight up. All we're doing is launch pads. Up, up, and away. This is a tremendous, tremendous squeeze. We're up over 400 points since last week. Just extraordinary. Do I stream every day? Yes, I do. I stream every day. Stopped out an MNQ short. Lesson learned. Fortunately, still a little green. Not worth the risk. Nice. Yeah, mark that down. Lesson learned. There are conditions. It's just about that gut feeling. Like that gut feeling of just, you know it's going to do it. Just don't short. There's plenty of times to take a short position. Today's not the one. Up, up, and away. Blastaroni with cheese. Blastaroni with cheese. Nothing else to do, man. Do I use OI to plot resistances when at all-time highs? I do. That's one of the things I use, because once we're out there, there's nothing really to go off of except options data and maybe some patterns. That's all we got. Straight up. Like Paula Abdul, baby, straight up. What are we doing? Re-entered long at 494. Nice, Kennedy. Finally get my website up and running. Need to learn how to do it myself. Felt the need to learn to do it myself. Nice. Use Claude. Y'all see 2 people died from diarrhea lettuce? I did not see that. Taco Bell first. Oh, yeah. I've gotten crazy sick off of salads. Dude, there's a documentary called Poisoned that is about that. They said you have a greater risk of getting deathly ill from salad than you do of meat, of meat-borne illnesses. Because there's no regulation on, because you can't cook it. You cook the meat, right? So there's no regulation on the irrigation systems that these companies use for their vegetables. So they're spraying poo water all over your arugula. So you go to these, fresh markets, you go to these organic vegan places, and like, oh, I've got my organic and, crisp arugula while you eat your animal fat, not knowing they're eating a poop salad. Aside from the fact that they're soaked in chlorine. And that's how people get Ebola, or not Ebola, E. coli from salad. Do you see the top limit for today that the NASDAQ go to 30,000? I do think it can go to 30,000 today or tomorrow. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. It's just all about playing volume. Right now, the market conditions are rippy. Rippy. Now, these are very odd market conditions, and I'll tell you why. Look at my watch list. What do you see here versus here? So you've got, hold on, what is this? Let me do this. Where's my little dot thingy? You've got the S&P here. I'm going to do a very visual. Is red. And you've got the tech is green. But the problem is, we've got the 10 sectors of SPY. If you're not familiar with the 10 sectors, I recommend you go to ssga.com and become aware of these. So these are the 10 sectors that make up the S&P. 7 of them are red and deeply red. 3 of them are green, and the 3 of the green are F, I, and K. K is up 4%. So not only is the S&P launching, it's launching harder than the NASDAQ, and yet 70% of the S&P is deeply red. That shows you how aggressive this is. Now look how green the tech is. It's mimicking yesterday. 8%, 6%, 2%, 4%, 4%, 2%. I mean, just insanely green. So this is what's causing this market. Until this stops, the tech rally stops, you can't short the indexes. They're going to pump this into oblivion because Citadel now owns that big fund for a couple of $billion. And they're going to make their money because you are not a billionaire and they are. You do not get an invitation for Epstein's Island, so you don't get to make money. Up, and away. And until that stops, you cannot short. You cannot short. Y'all have dirty minds. Y'all have dirty minds. Y'all have dirty minds. I bought some iceberg lettuce a couple of days ago. When I slice it, it smells like pesticide. Trash it. Yep. The easiest thing in the world. We have our garden now, which we're starting to get into market gardening. Which, by the way, we have a 80-foot by 60-foot pumpkin patch. And it looks insane. Like the whole thing is carpeted with gigantic pumpkin vines. It's amazing. It's really, anyway, the easiest thing in the world to grow is lettuce. If you like lettuce and you've got a 20-foot piece of land that you can plant on, even in a subdivision, you can plant lettuce, and you can eat off of it from March, maybe even February, depending on your climate, all the way into July. Tomatoes too. We have 40 tomato plants. I've got carrots, onions, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, pumpkins, potatoes, corn, cucumbers, squash, zucchini. I got it all. I've got it all. Yeah, I've got, it's great. It's great, man. We're going to put in some grapes. Grow your own lettuce. It's super easy. It requires almost no maintenance. You can literally sprinkle seeds on the ground in March, and it'll pop up, and you can cut it and eat off of it multiple times. It grows back. The system has failed us in thinking that we have to have grocery stores to eat. We can't eat unless we buy it from the grocery store, but food is so easy to grow. Blast off, 606 NASDAQ and going. The S&P is straight up. This is I would say this is the most bullish day of the year. I thought yesterday was. This is extraordinarily bullish. Extraordinarily bullish across the board. Don't short. Magabaguli is raking it in. Homegrown lettuce is great. Problem is I don't have enough room to grow enough to last. Yeah. Yeah. Potatoes are wild. Man, potatoes are the easiest thing in the world. High-calorie foods. Here we go. 611, 620. We're going, baby. Just ride it. Just buy and ride, baby. Buy and ride. No shorting. It was part of our big high wire show last week. Food and glyphosate. Glyphosate is terrible. $3 billion almost in calls purchased. Just absolutely going. I can't grow squat here besides turnips and potatoes. Been a tough year for gardening. Why is that? Are you in Alaska? That's pretty awesome, Ben. Is that yours? That's extraordinary. Or is that what you want to build? Blast off, baby. Absolute blast off. Up, and away into oblivion. This has been the best year for gardening ever for us. Like the wettest summer and the coolest summer we've had in years. I can't remember the last time we've had this much rain. I mean, it's extraordinary. For me, at least. Still going. 29,630 straight up, baby. No shorting. No shorting. All the way up. We planted 3 okras. They're like trees now. Heck yeah, man. I love okra. It's been cold and rainy, killing all the plants. Yeah. Still going. all the way up. The best tomatoes we've ever grown this year are the Amish paste tomatoes. It's fantastic. Highly recommend them. All right, 29,620 and going. They just put on liquidity. I know it's going to blow your mind. I know this is going to blow your mind. They just put on liquidity at 29,800. No, they're fantastic. It's an extraordinary tomato. It's the perfect tomato. They're the size of softballs. They're paste tomatoes, so they're very they're all meat. There's no like filler in them, and they're super sweet. I don't know how the Amish came up with these, but they're called Amish paste. Literally, we just had one as 1.1 pounds. One single tomato is 1.1 pounds. Massive. Almost killed a chicken with one. You ever killed a chicken with a tomato? How far away is NASDAQ from all-time highs? I don't know. Let's take a look. I started talking about gardening and everybody left the stream. Oh, you didn't come here for gardening advice? Come on. I don't know about percentage points. I'd have to do the math, but we're getting close. We're only about 1,000 points away now from all-time highs on NASDAQ. The S&P is just literally repeating April and May. Still here, baby. Keep the gardening coming. Just harvested my first tomato, but they ain't 1 pound. Nice. Keep it coming, baby. There you go. Magabagoolie's making that Magabagoolie. Still going. Straight up, baby. Look at that trend line, man. Have I seen this? You can watch the English farming documentary on Amazon. It's under English. Clarkson's Farm. I have not seen that. What's it about? I wish I held all my positions, but I got 4 funded green, 1 eval passed, 1 eval to 75% to target. Still trying to get these TBTs over the cushion. Did you survive the bear market at 10.19? Yeah, that's crazy. All day, every day, baby. 4% away from all-time highs. Nice. Thank you. This is a pretty insane chart. We're about to be up 100 points on the session after being up so many overnight. We're up a tremendous amount. We're up 100 points from the close. NASDAQ is up 800 points from the close, almost 3%, and tech is just pumping. Straight up pumping. It's nutty, man. It's nutty. Jeremy Clarkson used to be a car TV show and retired. It's funny, very interesting. Oh, nice. When you pass a buffer, how much after that do you need to do to take a payout? For me personally, I try to get to 2x the buffer. So that doesn't necessarily mean I don't take payouts, but I don't wipe all my profits until I'm into the 2x buffer. I always maintain 2x buffer. Now, once I pass the first buffer, the 2x buffer is my just personal preference. That's not their thing. That's me. You can start taking as much payouts as you want after you hit the buffer. I do take some out just to pay for the accounts, just to pay myself back for a little bit of time and effort, just to keep things interesting, and then I'll just grow it to 2x buffer. And then Once I hit 2x buffer, there'll be days I take everything out. There's days I take a little bit. It depends on how market conditions. If it's difficult market conditions, I'll leave some in there for the account. If it's easy market conditions and I'm just killing it, I'll wipe out as everything I can because I know I'm going to make it back the next day. So it's different. And then all the while, I'm using that money to buy more evals. So all of my evals are paid for by my payouts. And that's up to you whether or not you want to do that. I do not want to see evaluation resets on my credit card bill. I want to see them paid for out of the payouts. Do I bore? You buy more evals? Does that you all? What do you mean? Morning, I wasn't able to trade this morning, and I saw what I missed. Yeah, it's pretty insane, man. I mean, you also blow accounts? Oh, 100% I blow accounts. Absolutely, dude. I never want to give the impression that I'm never blowing accounts. I'm just not blowing $50,000 worth of accounts every month, like some people do. Still going 77.25 and up and away, 29,640. So even when I'm funded, even when I've got active, funded, healthy accounts, I'll still go buy 5 evals, pass those, or at least try to pass them. And then when they're passed, they wait. And they're wait in a pending mode until I do fail the fundeds, and then I activate those. That way I'm pretty much always funded. Unless I just go on a losing streak and I wreck everything in one day, which, that happens. But I keep everything nice and easy, nice and low risk, small position size, and inch my way up. If you are copy trading, does that mean you blow all funded accounts at once? If you're copy trading, then yes, that'll happen. Yes, Twizzy, 100%. When you do blow an account, why does it happen? Just incorrect trades. It only happens when I go on a losing streak. If I take like 2 or 3 losses in a row, or I take out too much money and then I have a quick drawdown, or I overposition, stuff like that. So, what's your recommendation on the Take Profit Trader account size? I personally like the 150s, but they're all good. It just depends on what you like to trade with, and you have to be good at managing position size if you go with the small accounts. If you go with the 25K accounts, you just have to know you cannot trade more than 1 or 2 micros, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you like trading minis, you've got to go up to the 150s. Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked. But yeah, use code OMTPT. Gets you that 40% off and a free funded. It's good stuff. How wide of a stop would you give to NASDAQ here? If you're long NASDAQ right now, I would set as 560 stop and take your hands off until you're ready to get out of the trade. I mean, this is nuts. This is a perfect day for trailing stops. I blew a pro yesterday. What's his name? Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. Took some profits at the 103 buffer before NASDAQ launched 200 points. Part of the game. Yep. I feel you, man. I feel you. All right, I'm back. Closing ES longs, I'm flat. Set a new highest percentage in single day of the year. Nice, Mojo. That's awesome, buddy. Isn't it a great feeling? Provisional research question from my DBA. How are previously established low volume and structures associated with subsequent trading behavior in the S&P? Hold on, that's a lot of big words. How are previously established volume and price structures associated with subsequent intraday price behavior? So all volume spikes at price is going to just indicate future activity, future indications where the market is going to fluctuate price at that level. Major resistances, major supports, historic activity will indicate future response. The bigger, the better. Not funny, but typical, not even phased anymore. I can't believe how desensitized them to it and accept accountability. Up one too many contracts, and I knew it. Account liquidated on 222 points before the launch. Had I removed just one contract, it would have survived the drawdown. No, man, I 100% agree. The thing about trading is that it gives you just enough rope to hang yourself with. It will let you get away with over trading for a while, especially when you're firing on all cylinders and your things are going well. It'll let you do it, and it'll reward you for it. It'll give you big wins, and it'll get you all wide-eyed. But then it takes everything back. It'll take it all back and then some. The only way to survive that is through consistent and perpetual risk mitigation. One slip up and you're wrecked. There's zero room for error when trading. This is what makes trading so difficult. This is what makes trading the most difficult job in the world. It's simple. Buy low, sell high. It's very, very simple, but it's the most difficult thing you ever do because risk management, emotional management, that's it. That's the key. You have to have consistent and perpetual risk mitigation through proper position sizing and never waver once. And that is all. What's his name? This dude's gold. Definitely my new daily list. My name is Andrew, so thanks for being here, Will. Appreciate you. Yesterday you said you would ban anyone shorting, then you shorted. That was during the morning, though. But yes, 100%. 100%. But I had a good reason to do so. And I stand by that position. I didn't short today, though. Only longs today. My name is Jeff. I am not going to take a short position until it's so obvious that it's going down that there's zero room for error. I am not going to preemptively enter a short. What are you using different for your YouTube streams to see all new extras? No, I'm doing things the way that Claude's telling me to do them, and it's working. We're growing. We've tripled the attendance of the YouTube streams in the past 2 weeks. Because of the changes I've made. So hopefully it keeps growing. Yeah, buddy. Curious to hear your reasoning of a blown account. Was it position issues, wrong entry, timing? I mean, it's a mixed bag of why it happens. Sometimes I'm just not reading things right. Prop firms don't allow a lot of margin for error when you're wrong for a couple of times. It's not like, IBKR where I can just be wrong for a little bit and I'm fine. Prop firms, there's very small margin of error when you just start out on a brand new account. So, sometimes I go one too many contracts. Sometimes I take 2 or 3 losses in a row. Sometimes I don't. That's just the way it works. Or I take out too much money to survive market conditions because different market conditions are different for props. On very volatile conditions, you have to have a wide account. You have to have a lot of buffer. For tighter conditions, you don't need that much buffer. Just different things. My average account length is anywhere between 30 to 45 days, give or take. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. The longest I've ever kept a prop account open is about 3.5 months on a funded account. And I've blown funded accounts. I've blown funded accounts on the first trade before, and I've kept them open for 3.5 months before. But that's just the way it is, and I'll just keep on trucking. I keep on trucking. How are the options looking? Right now, $3 billion in puts purchased. If you were to show me a screenshot of this hero flow without showing me the charts, I would say that it's at least a down day, if not aggressively down day. 162 point stop for the Nas Kennedy. Yeah, buddy. Hold on. I have my first spammer in like 2 years on the YouTube stream. Man, you know we're growing now. Holy smokes. Got him out. You're welcome, Walker. I think my longest was a month and a half, so 3.5. Yeah. So that was, I mean, it's only happened twice. The account back in the winter went that long, not quite that long, but the one before that was back in the summer, fall. And the only way to do that is to stick to micros, honestly. Even if you're trading minis with a prop firm, unless you have just a huge buffer. The only way to keep a proper account open that long is to trade micros, because eventually it's going to come back and get you. Nice, Kennedy. Well done, buddy. 162 points. Fantastic. All right, y'all. That is a London close. So that's going to call it a day here. Do not short anything unless you have a dang good reason. Now, the longer this goes, the more likely you get a good short position in power hour. It happened yesterday. In power hour yesterday, the markets dumped 100 points on NASDAQ. So when the markets go extended like this throughout the session, they give you a great opportunity for some profit taking, a short event in power hour. There's your opportunity if you want to take a short. Until then, wait for a high quality, high volume 3C top wick. Otherwise, no shorting whatsoever, only long. These markets are in ludicrous mode. Just get out of the way and let them do their thing. Hope you learned a little someday, had a little fun, did a little work. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for another fantastic day. I'm out. See you.